everyone, to the DJ Force X podcast. On today's show, I am joined by Mae and George from the band WREX. They've been on once before. That was back in July 2024. And again, I didn't mean to rhyme that. Um, a band who spent the last year relentlessly gigging, making real world connections, and a creative evolution of turning into something more powerful in these past few years, I feel. Since their last appearance, they've played a plethora of shows, reshaped their sound on stage, and pushed themselves beyond. I'm guessing it was two people on a laptop before, if I'm right. Was that?
Yeah, it's all no, it's always been a band. So there's always been a drummer and things, but now what's interesting is it's modular now.
Okay,
So
cool.
when we first played, there was five of us, and now you might see five of us, you might see three of us. It's kind of like Pokemon cards. You get who you get, kind of thing. We got like four different drummers who know the gig.
That's good.
Um, it's like a modular version of the band now.
You could play many cities in one night doing that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but but now you are back with a new EP. You got an EP called Sadworld, which is coming out on May the 20th. Um, yeah, we're going to talk all about that in this podcast. I've been lucky enough to hear it, and it is fantastic. Obviously, there are a couple of tracks out right now that people can hear. You got Paranoia and Consume. Those are the two sort of tracks, so people can. I'm not going to say pause this and go listen. I say watch this first and then go listen because I need the numbers. Um, I've been doing it too much and people are clicking off. It's really bad. But no, we're going to dig into the EP. What's changed over the past couple of years? Because, like I said, it was back in July 2024. And why sort of like you feel like if this is a new chapter for Rex as well. But George, May, welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having
Thanks
us.
for having us back.
Yeah.
No, it's absolutely my pleasure. It's been a long time coming, to be honest. Like I've been meaning to see you guys live, and I apologize for that because you have played extremely local to me, and things went wrong on my part. And you played one of my favorite venues in the world, and I didn't get to see it. Um, which was the West End Centre in Aldershot, for everyone that's kind of wondering what that is. Um, but yeah, no, let's sort of get some catch up over the past sort of 2 years that you've been going. Obviously, we had was it Hell was a long way down, a long way. Oh,
Yeah. So we
yeah.
caught you last when we did the as what we refer to as this hell
This, okay, cool.
campaign. But yeah, this hell goes a long way down was that record.
Yeah.
Um, and then yeah, it's been 2 years or so.
Whirlwind, really.
And yeah,
Doesn't feel like 2 years.
yeah, it's been I don't know, a wild and a fun ride. Like I think the band has evolved and we've evolved as people. I think, which has been fun. And I think I always kind of put everything back to the start of the band, and I guess the moment we decided it was gonna be a band and then first gigging, there's kind of it's like when you write a song, you get this idea out of your head,
Yeah.
but then when you put the song out, it's then real and out in the world. And then what I never really personally strangely factored for, although I've done it before, I guess I forgot that there's then that moment when I guess before I'd never done it in such a segregated manner.
Yeah.
So this was very this bit, then that bit, then that bit. So then when we came to putting the music out and then going and gigging it, there was a whole, like, usually those things had all come in different orders, whereas this came in a different order than I was used to.
Okay.
So when we caught you last was the first time we'd ever really gone and played outside of Brighton and done 4 shows in a row.
Yeah, that was like our first tour, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So,
And from then to now, we are.
just in the last year, we did 54.
We did 54 shows last year.
I think we're on 21 or 22 already, and that's just since January the 25th, I think.
Yeah. No, I was going to say you've been pretty consistent, like because I obviously I follow your socials and everything and all that, so I see what you're doing, what you're up to. I like to sort of keep tabs on the people I speak to, just to sort of, especially the sort of younger bands like yourself at the time, like very sort of like, you hadn't really gigged, like you said, gigged outside of Brighton, so not many people outside of there may have heard of you at that point. But I always like to keep because if I ever it's bands throughout the years for me that if I love what I hear from them straight away, I will tend to follow them. Like when most people do the same thing. And yeah, I've noticed you've been gigging consistently, at least like every weekend.
Pretty
Essentially.
much.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
I think
Which,
next week is our first weekend off for a while.
Yeah, we have like windows where we have like 2 weeks off, maybe.
That's
okay.
only if you're away.
Yeah, and then what's the irony there is usually on those weekends off, I'll be out teching or gigging with another band.
Yeah.
So I think last year, all in all, outside of WREX, I think I did something crazy like 130 shows.
Oh wow.
Which was wild. This year, next week I go away for 10 days, just guitar teching with a band, but it's like that's 10 days.
Yep.
So my off time from us touring is away for 10 days. Doing that. So yeah, it's
Intense.
It's intense and juggling it, and I think we're at a pivotal point. It feels like we're at a pivotal point with the band where we've generated all this momentum and it's starting to sort of topple over, and I guess like generate its own momentum, which is cool. But it feels a little bit like that. Like there's things happening that are really exciting, but the other side of that is like, yeah, we are both we're pretty broken because we have like we have substitute players. We have like the bassist and the guitarist sort of they come and do maybe like 1 in 10 shows.
Okay.
The guitarist maybe 1 in 10, the bassist maybe 1 in 20.
Okay.
The drummer, he's on pretty good form this year. Greg's on 20 for 20 so far.
Nice.
But he's got a few to dep out. So yeah, there are windows where we almost bring on these substitute players, and it's quite funny because it's interesting because that gives us this whole new lease of life as well.
Yeah.
Because a band is a dynamic and a family and it's like everyone's got this interperson dynamics. So like the different characters all bring their own kind of things with that, and that's a fun vibe for the band. And yeah, I'm excited for, not that I don't love Greg to bits, but I'm excited for George or Will or Tim and everyone else we have jumping in and out.
Nice. I mean, it's an interesting way to operate. Like you said, you've got all these like sort of like players that can come in and play, and it's very kind of it's like it's almost like old style sort of. So I see like sub players coming in and out of like lounge acts, blues acts, stuff like that. Like from back in the day when they're touring extensively, they could bring in like, if one of the players got ill, they bring in another one and they keep the show going. And you're kind of doing this I'd say in that fashion. Not necessarily that is your influence from that, but it's certainly like it's a modern way of keeping it going as well, because there are a lot of people out there that can make music individually or as a duo like yourselves. But getting it on stage, getting it on getting it out live, because that is the real lifeblood of a band. That's what you're exhibiting right now, is this lifeblood that a lot of like I guess producers may miss. They might go out and DJ or something, which is kind of another way of doing it, but it's not always, it doesn't, for me, being a DJ and I've produced stuff and stuff like that, I think it's like if I go out there and play my stuff like in a format of DJing, it's not like it's playing live. It's playing the track to them. It's playing the CD to them, or a slight remix of it. But like getting out there with players, if you've got friends who are players, friends who are drummers, friends who are bassists that were willing to do this, in whatever agreement you have between them, I think it's a really smart way of doing it. Like, I mean, this is just kind of like it's pretty much dawning on me at the moment. But like I just remember from back in the day of being in a band, and then like, you do have this camaraderie between you. And we had players come in and out, like they were members of the band for a short period of time, but they were coming in and out, and it was always a bit awkward. And like there was at one point where we were bringing in like every other month different people, like, and it was in a different fashion. It was literally to finish a tour or something like that, and then we reassess at the end of it. But no, the way you've got people to kind of come in and out as and when, and they, like you say, they bring this different energy, this different buzz because they're on the same page, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
it's fun. It's like, I think we're really lucky that like we are surrounded by lots of great players, and we're not, whilst the band is in its infancy, we're not young coming at this. Like, we're kind of in that sense of like, I've been around the block doing it, and it's not that thing for me where it's like, what do you mean you can't make this one-off gig on a Wednesday? You're dead to me.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's not
Well, I mean,
that thing anymore.
yeah, that's the experience I've had.
And and we're trying to, I don't know, we're trying to make it fun, you know. That I think we're trying to extend that. What it all started about was us two in this room writing songs. And when we wrote the songs, there was this, it has to be fun, it has to be energetic, we have to enjoy doing it.
Yes.
And we've managed to capture that, which in hindsight is quite rare. We've managed to take that to our live environment and maintain that and keep that in the vibe of everyone that comes in and out as well. I'm quite strict on that. Like, I won't tolerate like divas or anyone who makes that journey difficult, because it's not, there's enough people that won't. And where we're at in doing this, that like is like, we want to have fun.
Yeah.
You know, one day I just look at this whole thing as like, one day my ears will stop working and my hands will stop working. I just want to say I've had a good time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
not...
no, that's a good place to be in. And yeah, it has to be fun. Otherwise, there is very little point to this like endeavor if you don't. But no, I just, like I said, it's an incredibly interesting way of doing it, but incredibly modern way. Like, I've seen a couple of other bands kind of adopt the same thing, where they've kind of brought in players to play live. Like they were literally two guys on a laptop on stage at one point when I first saw them live. And then now they've got a full band that they take out with them to do these shows. And it just seems to be this way of like doing things now, because like a lot of people can't commit to the one project, and it would be silly to make people do that these days because there's so much stuff going on and so many different ways to make a living as well. Like, as you probably know, I know music doesn't always pay. Um, it's the unfortunate rule of the creative industry. There is exposure money, it doesn't pay rent, but there's also passion money where you're kind of like, you want to do it because you want to do it, and you know there's an end goal. And I mean, back to your sort of like side of things of like building up this momentum, I've seen that in the form of like online clips, videos, all that kind of stuff, like looking at videos of your shows and seeing this footage, seeing these photos, seeing, like, I've heard reports from the West End Centre because I have friends there. I had people that went to that show and they really, really enjoyed it, which was because I told them to go. I was like, go see this band. And I was planning on being there to meet them up, and obviously I couldn't. But that venue, like I said, that is like that is my home venue. Whenever when I was back in my day when I was in the band, I played sold out shows at that venue. That's why it was our local venue. It was our local crowd. It was always packed in there. It was always good. Like, the people that run the venue, the people that do everything there were all fantastic. So I've got a lot of love for that venue. But you have played other venues in and around me as well, like Guildford. That's where I DJ every month as well. So you played the Star there. You played Reading. I work in Reading, and so like I've got no excuse really not to have seen you live, because you've played the Purple Turtle, you played the Star in Guildford, you played the West End. So I'm like hitting my star. Yeah, next round. But
we're not going to put it this way, we're not slowing down.
No, I was going to say,
we're on for more shows this year. I think.
Yeah, we're going to beat 54 this year.
We've got over 54 in the diary this year. I stupidly set you the goal of 70.
Yeah, and I thought we were going to go for 45, but we're already past it.
That's good. That's good.
In October.
You can like, if you get through the halfway, you can then extend that goal. You know, you can push it to 100. No, I'm not going to do that.
Have a job if we do
that. But we'll talk about the run of shows you've got coming up. But I want to talk about the EP first, if that's all right. So it's called Sadworld, everyone. It's out on May the 20th. You can go listen to a couple of tracks now. They can probably pre-save it as well. Is that available yet, or is that?
Yeah, that's out. Yes.
Cool. So you can pre-save it on your streamer of choice. And are you planning on any physical products for this release, or is it pure?
Not for this. There's talks of basically something later this year.
Yeah.
There will be something that will be a physical release.
Okay, cool.
That will hopefully tie up this chapter of WREX
Nice.
in a really nice way.
Cool.
Is the plan. We're literally, this has been a van. All your ideas happen in the van. This has been a van idea that like was talked about 10 days ago.
Okay.
And we're sort of in the process of doing that. So later this year there will be something.
All right, we won't speculate. We'll leave it for you guys to release it. So, but it sounds cool. I like physical products, you see. So like, CD, vinyl, stuff like that. I love that sort of stuff. I collect that. I buy that. Whatever, I'm surrounded by it in this studio. So, but yeah, back to the EP. Paranoia and Consumer, the 2 tracks. Consumer is an absolute banger, by the way. When I heard that, I was like, yes. And then heard Paranoia, and I'm like, again, yes. But I have heard the whole thing. I've heard all 5 tracks now. The Noose, which is one of the other tracks, I really love that one.
We played that at Aldershot.
Did you?
Oh, I absolutely just basically that lead guitar part's it's not that hard, but it is. And I kind of figured out a way of playing it that was like, instead of sliding up the octave the whole way up the neck, to put a whammy pedal on, because I quite like staying in the same position but using a pedal. And I hit every note. I hit every note in the riff, but they're all in the wrong order.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. So it didn't sound, because no one had heard it before, it didn't sound bad.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Everyone that had heard it before, it's like, that's not right.
It was all in key, but it was not like the melodic part it's supposed to be.
It's all right. You took it for a walk. That's all you did. You took it for a walk.
Yeah, I'm really. I would say actually, the Noose is one of my. The second verse of the Noose is my favorite section of music in terms of production and music.
Yeah.
On the entire record, in terms of like, I'm super proud of it. Every element of that song, I felt like I feel like every section of that song, I feel like we set out to do what WREX is supposed to be, and we pushed ourselves to go somewhere new in every single section of the song.
I think the end of that song was written like 3 or 4 years ago.
So the end bit of the song, which is like where it goes to sort of the piano section, that actually was written from the Paradise EP.
Okay.
And it was from a song that never made the EP, but we were always like, that bit was really good, but the bit before it was really meh.
Yeah.
And we were all talking about, we were sat here with our guitarist and we were talking about the song, and we're like, we just don't know where it should go. And we just went through the diary, and we showed him that, and he was like, that's really good. Why haven't you used that? And then we realized, like, hang on, if we pitch that up and switch our vocal parts around, which you were really gutted about because you really liked the bit I sing and I really liked the bit Mae sing. So we had to swap our parts to fit our voices. But that bit of the Noose came from there. And again, like, constantly kind of just taking, because again, the bridge we had just was a bit meh. It just kind of went somewhere that it.
Remember the original bridge?
I think it was like a kind of 808, like kind of thing. I think that sounds like the kind of meh thing I would have put in as a placeholder. I'm really proud of the Noose. That song. And then the 5th track on the record,
1,000 Ways.
1,000 Ways, yeah. That is
that was kind of accidental, really.
Yeah, that was just a song I wrote on my own one day. I was sat at home. It was probably around this time of the year, and I tend to have a bit of downtime this time of the year. I was at home on my own. I was supposed to be mixing the record, and I just found a piano loop and was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then within 20 minutes wrote the song and put it in the group chat and was like, I think I've written a 5th song for the record. And it kind of came so instantaneous that it was like, you were very keen for me to not redo anything. You were like, this is supposed to be kind of raw and open. And we added a few bits of production to it, but like we tried to keep it pretty open. And over the whole record, we kind of kept that ethos of like, I think we have hidden behind production on the, especially from like the Paradise EP
Okay.
to now. I feel like we hid behind layering things and comping and editing and the tools and skills that we have in here. And I think from going and playing live, we just got better. Like when we do vocals now,
Yep.
they don't really need as much work, which is cool. And B, like you're kind of like, oh no, that should be raw, that should be on its own. And you can kind of make the judgment call a little bit more, which I feel we have on this record, of when something is supposed to be exposed and raw and on its own, and when something is supposed to be powerful and layered and things,
Yeah.
which has been we hadn't really, I feel before we just kind of layered everything out of probably insecurity and hiding behind it. But
yeah, no, I mean, you can hear the production difference between the records, because I went back to listen to like This Hell and things like that, and I'm not going to knock it in anyway, because production's production. But no, you're right. It's that thing of not overthinking when you're coming to making tracks, and I've been guilty of that in the past, of like, just, oh, it just needs this, it needs this, it needs this, I'm not happy, and it just, you build up, and then it just sounds like you get where you lose a lot of stuff that you've worked on. And I've always been a fan and a sort of advocate for stripping stuff back, and like, whenever I've been songwriting with a group of people and we have like a jam session or something, we come up with this thing, and it's like, okay, cool, well, now let's break this down. What did we do? What did, and we always end up with like layers less than we had, which is, and it just, it kind of like, it opens it up, and it does give it more power. And like the production on this record is tantamount to that. Like, it's different from your previous records. It's not like massively different anyone, so don't get shocked by it. It's not like Metallica doing that than doing St. Anger or anything like that.
I think we were quite inspired by Chuck era Sum 41, where there was that element of thrash and it was a little bit rawer.
Yeah.
And yeah, that kind of came. I think 111 was one of the first songs we wrote, actually.
Okay, I was going to ask about that one. So,
and I think that was one of the first ones, and we kind of just, we're just like, let's just keep this raw. Or it was definitely one of the first ones that was in the set for sure. We were playing that one live for like over a year before it's not even out yet.
Oh, yeah. It's gonna be out in a week.
In a week, yeah.
So it's coming out.
Yeah. So that will be a third single.
Nice.
It's not. I wouldn't really class it as a single. Basically, we kind of have said like it's not like a radio single or anything like that. It's
an incredibly short song.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we will get radio with it because it is so short. Like, it is supposed to be just kind of stupid and fast and intense. And
I was going to say, because it hits. It's the second track on the EP, and it hits between Paranoia and Consume. As a track listing for anyone that's listening, and by the time this comes out, 111 will be out, by the way. So people will have heard it at that point. But yeah, no, it's basically, I've just got like, and the note next to it was short hit. That was right next to it. But it's like it's quite a like it. Give it like a volatile kind of like hit. It kind of like what. It was that kind of like moment of like listening to Paranoid. Okay, cool. I've heard this track a few times now, and then that kicks out. Like, oh, what's the rest of this EP going to sound like, kind of thing. But then you kind of Consume, which people have heard as well, which I thought was an absolute brilliant track, and the Noose as well. And then 1,000 Ways, that ballad style, that stripped back piano, and just your vocals being very kind of like open and honest, like with like the content that's in there. It takes it to a new dynamic. Like it sort of because like with EPs you have a very short time to tell a story or tell what you want to tell in these things. Like albums are great for storytelling, but EPs are always good for that kind of almost like, I guess, sampler of music, but like it's like a short story. But yeah, taking it through like those tracks and then ending with 1,000 Ways, it's really, everyone's, I think people are going to love that track. It's very emotional. It's very poignant. It's not like massively heavy. Like it's piano, and it's like, it is kind of a what's the word? I'd say a departure, because you've had sort of slower elements too, but coming out of the noose into that as well, I think
Yeah.
that is a brilliant piece of track listing as well. It just,
I'm always
yeah.
I love like that closer to a record. I remember one of my friends from an old band would always be like, you love that at the end of a record. You just love that kind of the fade, the California fade out on the
Yeah,
record.
yeah,
Like I
yeah.
love the closing scene of like I said, like a film, and I do, and for me, I was torn of where to put A Thousand Ways. It was kind of going at first. It went before the noose, and then I kind of felt like it just worked as
Yeah.
like I think because we haven't introduced piano until the end of the noose, it kind of made sense as well that like there's this whole kind of, if it was a lighting show, the coloring of the record has since changed from that,
Yes.
and I can lean into the piano a little bit more.
Yeah.
Um, but like everything, we overthought it, or I did every single every.
Good.
There was a moment where we we were shopping this record around to like PR companies
Yeah.
and business side of what we have to do as an independent band,
Yep.
and being the label as well, basically. And every single person said no.
Oh.
Like everyone. Like I think we went to almost everyone, and it was
Okay.
always, and like no beef with anyone. Like it
Yeah.
was, everyone kind of had their reasonings, or like their rosters were full and all these things. But you do at some, when this is your art and it's so
So personal, isn't it?
we try and pride ourselves, or like on being real with the music. So then what comes as a payoff of that is when it's rejected,
Yeah.
that kind of sometimes feels like a personal rejection as well. And it's like, yeah, there was a moment where I was like, have we fucked this up? Because we got a good amount of momentum from the last record.
Yeah.
Um, and I kind of was like, oh no, like everyone's saying no. And then, yeah, I kind of, it's the Bart Simpson meme of like, I am the best, and then the
Yes.
crying. But like, for me, they're just the two moods of making art, of like, I don't know, like, the bad part about being the label is I could still pull this record if I wanted. I could, if I let that intrusive thought win, I could delete it before
Yeah.
it comes out, and remove it, and yeah, like there's moments where I thought we'd got it wrong, and then you kind of come back to, it's not about right or wrong. It's just a record, man. Like there'll
Yeah.
be another one.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm really proud of it now, though. Like I've come full circle.
We always go through that bit anyway.
Yeah,
The last one.
I always go through this moment of like, I think I've made a mistake and I hate this record, and because I mix it all, like I question my decisions, and usually there's a huge amount of burnout that comes off of finishing a record.
Yeah.
We were talking to someone, and he was like, "Do you think you'll get someone else to mix the next one?" And I was like, "Probably not. Like it's my own kind of neurotic punishment doing them, but also like I'm so." Maybe I don't know, because like this is the first one again we've collaborated more, like from Paradise where it was all just us two, to
Yeah.
this hell where we had like Tom and Greg come in and Joe come in and play on it
Yeah.
as well, to this one like our friend Kieran did some like arrangement and additional production on Paranoia. So he did like a lot of like, he brought like the cool
Like
kind of percussive elements that are behind it.
Nice.
Kieran does a lot of work with Wargasm, but he used to be in the Prodigy.
Yep.
And he works with a band called Sleeper. I guitar tech for Sleeper. So that I've known him for ages, and we've been around each other. So it was like this natural thing. He just texted me one day and was like, Greg showed me the record. Can I? And he was like, it feels weird asking, but can I work on this song? I really like it. And I was like, dude, I'd love you to work on this song. Like, and 111 we co-wrote with our friend Adam from the band Tribe of Ghosts.
Okay.
So Adam came over and we were just like, let's just play basically and have a little play date and figure out some songs. And that song, I went through my Dropbox folder of ideas, and he was like, I don't know, can I swear?
Yes.
There was a demo called "Fuck You Right Hand," and it was
Lovely.
basically the synth part that's like really quick 303 style synth. I was trying to play that on guitar alongside it, and it's really kind of metal and faster than the check my right hand can cash. And Adam just saw that demo title and was like, what is that? I want to do that one. And then we kind of, we just all unanimously like just had this group ADHD dopamine train for an afternoon where we just wrote that song, and we were all like, what do we do now? And I was like, that's it. That's the song. And they're like, well, what about another verse or something? I'm like, no. And we all just agreed, like, it doesn't need to be anything more. It just needs to be that. It just needs to be that quick hit, as you said, of just and I think anything else would have ruined it. And then,
well, it would have ruined Greg live.
Yeah. And 1,000 Ways again, like we actually, he also did the piano on the Noose as well, but we brought in our friend Nick Evans, who's like an award-winning composer.
He also did Room to Breathe, didn't
he? Yeah, he did the alternative version of Room to Breathe, which we put out. He's just honestly a genius. Like, I just send him a message and be like, would you be up for this? And he, gets back to me, and he's done something that's just like, that's just exactly what I wanted it to be. Like, I didn't have to micromanage it or anything. And this record's been a really fun journey of like expanding the space that WREX is, and other people have now come into it. And I don't think that would have happened without the gigging that we've done.
Definitely,
because it's kind of a reflection for me, at least, of like seeing this stuff connect with other people and mean more than just I can write about my feelings, and I'm quite good at packaging that into a song, and that's my way of letting loose, really. But when it means something to someone else, that like just takes it a step further, like I don't know, it kind of heals you, like, in a way. Like, you kind of go, oh, that's helped me heal that wound a little bit. And I think then allowing people into the space to sort of do the same has been a really powerful thing for me, as outside of WREX, just as a producer. It's really helped. It's nice. It's cool.
That's excellent. Excellent. I mean, it's nice to hear you collaborating. You're expanding your the WREX world, if you will. But just to go back to something you said, you tech for Sleeper. Are we talking about the 90s band Sleeper?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, cool. I remember them. I'm old enough to remember them as a teenager.
Yeah. So there's a few of us who share the gig, but I'm one of their backline guys.
Nice.
So out here and there, and they're you know what, they made me want to do that as a gig again, because I did. I went out and toured with a band in my sort of mid / early 20s. And they're renownedly quite a hard band, and it really put me off. And they've recently, over the last few years, had quite a lot of bad press. People coming out and calling them out. And that again was kind of healing, because I was like, okay, cool, it wasn't just me.
This
is again, like, kind of no beef with them as people. It's just like I hope they figure it out one day. And Sleeper as a gig, like, helped me heal. They're really nice people, and it kind of helped me, I don't know, enjoy that aspect of it. Like, I for me personally, I don't really mind whether I'm on stage or I'm driving a van for someone. If everyone's nice and we have a good time, then sick. And that's kind of bleeds back into our ethos of how WREX is as a unit. So one of our sort of other drummers is he came and he kind of got the gig really by being our tech. He just he came and assisted on this hell sessions when we did the drums. He hit me up on Instagram and I was like, I need an assistant. He hit me up, came and did the gig. And then he basically just was like, anything we were doing, he'd just be like, I'll be there. And he just turned up and he just, bless him, put in the hours and cared about our band as much as we do. And then as soon as Greg couldn't do something, we were looking around for other people, and there were, like, no disrespect to him, there were people who had like better CVs or who were like more seasoned professionals.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I know he will put in the work, and I know I can hang out with him in a van for 14 hours.
Yeah.
And like, I think that's a bit of it that we don't talk about that's so important, that, like, you know, everyone's a human going through their own stuff on that.
Yes.
Whilst you're traveling together, maybe we're working our day jobs as well, or we've got personal stuff going on. And it's like, if you can't help each other through that at the same time, then it's not really a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of, that ethos has kind of bled through everything that's WREX, really, in a really lovely way.
Yeah, nice. I've got a few friends that from back in the day, and they tech for bands and stuff. And it's the sort of industry they've moved into. I hear the stories. But thankfully the majority of them are nice. But I've got friends who like do all that for every level of band. But I heard the name Sleeper, and I've got their album somewhere in this studio. I remember them from way back then. I had another 90s band on my show a couple of months ago, Dodgy, who were huge back then as well. And it was just like, I've been on this complete trip of going back and listening to all this, and Sleeper had popped up a few times.
I think I've done festivals with Dodgy. I think I've definitely done something with Sleeper, and they've been on the shared bills.
Yes,
sure.
Most likely. There's going to be some kind of retro fest that will have them. No, but that's really cool. It's good to sort of, like, you know, and I've heard stories about bands through the grapevines. I was a hired gun for a bit back in the day, and I go out with these, and I like half of them you can't hang with them because they're doing too much rock star shit. Or what they claim to be rock star shit, whatever they want to do. But you know, you turn up, do the work, you go home. But no, that's awesome. And like, you know, from there we're going to talk about your gigs in that little segue right there. I think we've got but you got a whole bunch of shows coming up. I'll touch on some of them now. Well, there's one coming up that this won't be out by that one. So Sheffield on the 18th of April. If you went to that show, let us know. Playing Sheffield on the 18th of April. But then you've got a couple of days. You've got one in Kingston with Delanova and Nuns of Tundra, which is May 2nd. May 3rd, you're in Manchester, headlining the Metal to the Masses, guest headliner for the Q4.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Final.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's really cool. There's a link to that as well, isn't there, which we'll talk about in a minute. Spoiler alert, everyone. But then you're off to Tenerife.
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Of all places to play a rock metal show, Tenerife doesn't come to mind immediately. But is that your first overseas show as WREX?
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, first time flying as well. So you'll need to sort out the packing.
Yeah, we got to figure the rig, like, you know, again, something you don't really think about when you see bands you love, but like, yeah, just like customs and stuff like that. We got to sort all that stuff, and you know, from a business point of view, some upfront costs, some of which we had predicted, and we were a little bit ahead of this step. So I, at the beginning of the year, actually rebuilt our entire rig to be in flight cases.
Okay, cool.
Like preemptively for this kind of step of WREX.
Yeah.
Although we didn't expect it so soon. But yeah, it's kind of wild. Like,
yeah, this only happened like a week ago.
Yeah,
I think it was last weekend. Like on Friday, we got a message, and by Saturday, we had the passport details over, and it was confirmed.
Crazy.
Yeah, and that whole thing is like, again, I guess just the way that, like, because we are independent, there's, like, in terms of, we don't, Mae is our booking agent. We don't have a booking agent. There's stuff that, like, bigger bands would probably just have on file and it's good to go, or like there's stuff, but also in a way, probably a big band with an agent that might never have come through because it had taken too long to get everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's wild. I'm excited to go out of the country and play our first show.
Be nice to have a holiday.
Yeah,
Gonna
get a
say,
little holiday.
Get a little holiday out of that.
Holiday when we're not in the van.
Yeah. I'm not looking forward, for Greg's sake, I'm not looking forward to him playing in Tenerife and wearing a jumpsuit.
He's got to work the daytime as well.
Yeah, the band, he'll be working on his laptop in the day.
Oh,
But yeah, it's our first fly out. We had some European stuff for later in the year.
yes.
Which we'll get to, but like this kind of like was like, oh, we're going to Europe way sooner. I'm just excited.
That's
in general,
amazing.
like kind of.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's, I don't know. I feel like we've flipped usually with a band, there's like 30 bad things and 10 good things.
Yes.
And I feel like our ratios have switched to like, you kind of don't worry about the bad things as much because there's already another good thing, or there's already, or whether it's good or bad, there's already something else landing that you kind of don't have time to overthink stuff, which I've really enjoyed, just getting back out on the road.
Yeah.
Don't really have time. They don't have the energy or the bandwidth to overthink something.
No,
it's
that's
like,
good.
we're getting to the next thing.
But that's on May the 8th. That is the Volcano Fest in Santa Cruz, Tenerife. If anyone's planning on going there, check out WREX. And then back in the UK, May 23rd, you are playing in Dorset at Circus Festival.
Yep.
Circus. Is it Circus or Circus?
I think it's Cursus.
Cursus.
And we'll have George on drums for that one.
Yep. It's going to be an Abrahart special.
Nice. And then you're back in your hometown at the Hope and Ruin.
Yep.
On the 15th.
Salad.
Sorry.
With rat salad.
Aussie punks rat salad.
It's gonna be wild, that one.
Yeah, I just saw a video they put up yesterday of they broke their headstock on their guitar.
No.
And I was like, oh, gutted. Like full on, it was hanging off, and I was like, oh, I've had that moment. Yeah, that's gonna be cool. I think that's our only one of 2 Brighton shows this year, basically.
Okay.
And
it's always good to touch back at home, whenever you are out like at all these shows, people at home still want to see you. But you got Hastings as well on the 27th of June. Then you're back in Worthing at Hammerdown Festival, which obviously it's next to Brighton. And then you got Cheltenham on the 31st of July, and then Chelmsford at the Bay Days Festival, August the 1st. Sorry, I'm really bad at reading. And then you got Rebellion Festival in Blackpool, August the 8th. And then there's a big one. You're playing Bloodstock Festival.
Yeah.
Which is
I can't believe it.
Yeah, it's wild.
We're on the same day as Judas Priest.
I know. It's getting sick.
You can put that on your band resume as well. You've played with Priest. I did that with Twisted Sister.
It's wild seeing like our name on a poster, like with those names. Like, that's the first step. I think that every band there's like, we want to make it onto the poster.
Yes.
And then we want to make it, and then you want to make it into, when you make it into the logo names, then that's a big moment.
Yep, that's the next step. Yep.
Well, some men are playing on the day before us. I used to listen to them so much.
Yeah. There's so much good stuff. Rebellion Festival as well, like that's gonna be mint as well the day before that.
Yeah.
There's a show the day before Rebellion, but that's not announced yet.
We can't talk about it.
Okay.
I'll talk about it. All right. Well, be another one, everyone.
So that's a whole weekend for sure.
There's one more coming the week before that as well, I think.
Okay. Well, everyone can go to WREX.com and it will be updated with shows. They can also subscribe to the show things. They can click here.
You can join our mailing list and we'll email you. And we don't spam everybody. We keep it real. But like it's I try and do like here's the mail out will be like, here's everything that's going on in WREX World, and I'll do like a longer but like in-depth mail out, maybe like once a month. And yeah, we don't like to email like every week, just spamming people. I'd rather just be like, this is what's going on. There's exclusive merch or like a drop on merch in terms of you get a head start on it,
Yeah.
because a lot of stuff's limited edition. We just did a run of limited edition prints, which the mailing list got a head start on, and yeah,
I think they're half gone already.
yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, we're just trying to be, we want to be direct with the people that are helping this happen, because for us, it's kind of wild that like it's at this point. I think you always think in your head, you're capable of it, or like you can make this thing get there.
Yeah.
But the odds are ultimately stacked against you. And for me, seeing our band get offered these support slots and festivals and things with that, like before a manager or a label or anyone else has jumped in, is wild, because it's like, cool, we're doing it. Like we're going this way.
No, this is it. This is it.
When we first spoke about Typical, that was me, like, I'd already given up.
Yeah, so our first ever song, Typical, Mae showed me that.
I was trying to give it away.
Yeah, you thought I was going to take it and give it to another artist. And yeah, and now we're playing Bloodstock.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy, isn't it? But this is the thing. It's a lesson for a lot of bands out there. There is this work you need to do. Like you can make the best song ever, the catchiest song in the world, or the hookiest, whatever you want to call it. But it's nothing without the work. Like you guys, you've got a quality sort of catalog of music. But with that, you're playing these shows and you're getting offered these shows as well. So you're playing these shows every weekend. You're pretty much out and about, I would say. Trying to, as where you can play these shows, and it needs to happen, whether you're playing in front of, a man and his dog in a pub, or you're playing in front of, I don't know, 3,000 people and you're supporting a national headliner, if you will. It all leads up to those moments. You came to my sort of local one and you did really well. There's a lot of people there, and that's quite far. I mean, it's in Hampshire, but it's not Sussex. It's not, it's not Brighton. And
that's still as well attended as our hometown.
Yeah, I think we pre-sold more for the West End than we had on our last hometown show.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing though, to like for anyone listening, for your mindset, is like, it's being okay with like, we're going out and doing some European shows and we might be starting back down to one man and his dog. And it's like being okay with like one night might be 3,000 people and one night might be that. And that's not a reflection on you. It's just you're kind of starting from scratch in different territories.
Yes.
And for us, those territories could be Sussex and Hampshire and Yorkshire and it starts off like that. But I think everyone looks at it as the UK and just sees it so intensely. And I think you got to look at it as like town by town. But we always had that as a mindset from the beginning of, effectively, if we want to get that national headliner tour, how do we as a band get good for 50 tickets in every major town?
Yeah.
And build a fan base that would go and see us because they want to see us, not just because they're there to see the headliner. And that's where the kind of persistence and the work has come in. But like, when we couldn't do it without you booking it all. You just get a list of stuff. We're really good in our delegation of like, we sit down and we make a plan.
Yeah.
And then you kind of go off and do your thing and I kind of go off and do my thing. And we kind of just touch base. I don't look that far ahead on some of the other stuff. You're planning stuff that is like months ahead. I'm dealing a lot more with like the immediate.
There's some I'm reaching out to in Europe and they are already taking nothing before October 2027.
Yeah.
So they're way ahead of us.
Yeah.
Well,
a year and a half in advance minimum.
This is all this I'm hearing is stuff that I speak to bands all the time. I kind of do like consulting, if you will, when it comes to bands and growth and things like that. And everything you're telling me right now, like, is what I tell them. It's what I say. Like, you've got to treat every territory within the UK, like, even though we're a tiny island compared to the rest of the world, like, there's so many people in this populace, and you're not like in, even if it's the next town over, you could be really popular in one town and have no one in like a town 10 miles away. It's like, how do you get people to that show? How do you sell those tickets? What do you do? And it's about going, and putting in that work, and it's not all about hitting algorithms and all that that is part of it. That is part of the play, but it's not important when you're at this point. It's going out there and it's playing these shows and leaving a mark at these shows. It doesn't matter who you're playing with, if make friends with, local bands in that area, gig swap, all that kind of stuff. But but the mentality is that of how can we be good for those tickets? What can we do to be good for that? Like for national promoters to go, oh, let's get those guys in. They did well last time, or they've got, buzz about them. Because there's a lot of stuff that there was an ethos that was lost. It felt like it was lost for a long time. It was that kind of like people wanted that gratification. They thought if they had, the viral hit or whatever, it would make them nationally well known. But reality hits, and even celebrities have this where they turn up at nightclubs in front of no one. I've had that. I used to work at a nightclub and they brought in, I want to say Tinchy Strider for a night. And this was like, he was getting Radio 1, all that kind of stuff. It was like 20 people in this 1,000 capacity nightclub. He refused to play. I don't blame him, to be honest. But it doesn't mean you're going to be big in one town. There was local advertising, there was advertising up for it and all that kind of stuff. So it wasn't for the not of promoting. It was just that no one in that town seemed to be interested.
Yeah, I think we got really lucky with like this last year. We got taken. Not think I know. We got taken out with Millie Manders. Like Millie took us out, and we were. I'm so grateful for that opportunity to them and their team, and them taking us out. Because not only were they lovely as people and very accommodating and all of these things,
Yeah.
But also then when we got there was this. It was the first time we'd ever gone out as a 3-piece, and we drove all the way to Glasgow to start this tour with them.
Yeah.
I remember the agent being like, "What you want to do Glasgow?" And we're like, "Fuck yeah, man, let's go!" Like we want to do everything. Like so, we turn up in Glasgow, and I just remember that moment of the three of us getting on stage. We'd never done it as a 3-piece, and we just look out to a full room audio in Glasgow, and I guess everyone was a little like it was more punk than we were used to. Our band, we didn't know where we lived.
Yeah.
With what audiences. So I think our instinct was like, fuck, these people are gonna fucking hate us. and we just kind of had this moment of like, well, just do like we all just looked at each other like, let's just do us, give our show, go 100%, do what we do. And I remember like looking at people like dead in the eye, and they're just like looking at you and they're not reacting, and you're like, nah, just like giving it everything. And then afterwards they all came with that. They loved it, and they're all like, "You were amazing," and they had a great time. But it was just that moment of like, I genuinely thought we had flopped so hard on that gig. But yeah, we were so grateful for those guys taking us out. And they do a really good job of taking out other bands. And yeah, we were just, for us, that moment was like a turning point, because I think we came off of that tour. It was the first time we'd done the modular thing properly. Like, I remember like we turned up a few weeks later and we had 4 of us, and then there was another show where there was 5 of us, and it started, it kind of worked, and we knew it worked, but we could go and do the shows, and yeah, just
nice,
exciting. Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. It's like I said, it's part of the work, and that's the other thing. Like when it comes to networking, these things, promoters do speak to industry people. They do speak to managers. They do speak to bands about other bands as well. I don't know if like people are aware of that. Like when you play these shows, you turn up, you're good people, you bring in, even if you don't bring in a crowd, you play well, and the people there loved you. The promoter does remember that. The promoter does speak to other people. This is more a guide for other bands, but it is all that work ethic. But there is actually one thing on your gig list. There is a few more shows you've got which go into the sort of late this year, October and whatnot. But there is the one in London you've got. It's not a performance, it's a short film and Q&A.
Yeah. So yeah,
about that, because I was like looking at that, I was like, it's interesting. What's this?
No, you've got the spiel on this one.
Well, it's
Leave it with our potential physical release.
So
Okay.
we got offered it first. It was cool as like the opportunity came before we had an idea of what the hell we were going to do.
Right. Okay.
So it's at Lumineer Cinema. That's what it's called.
Romford.
In Romford.
Yep.
And they approached us and said, we're doing this thing. And it's like every band gets like an hour to show what they want on the screen and to sell merch and to do their thing. So initially, I think we were just going to show like our music videos and talk about, because we got this DIY ethic, talk about like how we made them and show some behind the scenes stuff of the videos. Because like the Sleepless video is just my lounge.
Okay.
Like it looks like an operating theater, but it's just I borrowed a bed from my mate's tattoo shop and we duct taped bin bags to the walls and all this crazy stuff to make it look how it did.
Yeah.
Like a day's work went into building it. The This Hell Goes a Long Way Down video is 2 gazebos put together with plastic sheeting over the top.
Nice.
And all these things. We were going to talk about all that stuff, and then where we've now gone to sort of bring it full circle, I think that the plan is we're teaming up with a friend of ours, and we're going to take all the footage and the things we have, and we're going to kind of do like a WREX so far style documentary, mini sort of mid-form content, for a horrible way of putting it. Insight into like what it has taken to get to this point and who we are. And we're kind of looking at I guess my reservation about what we're going to do later in the year. I don't want to call it a release because to me, it's not a release. It's a celebration of it. This bit of like, so it's not a release of music per se, although it will be. It's more like it's a celebration of like the journey traveled so far and kind of the power of like stepping outside your head and the we created this thing that we had no intention of ever creating a band. We just wanted to write songs, and we were on Kerrang before we'd ever done a gig.
Yeah.
And that was kind of crazy. And the opposite side of that is we've severely had to play like catch up, where other bands who were probably didn't get those opportunities and were really good as bands, we had to get good as a band. Yeah. We didn't have that sort of 5 years of already playing together, already knowing each other inside out in how we work. Like, so yeah, the idea of what we're doing at Romford is it's kind of like an insight into that journey. The plan is we're not made this yet, by the way. We've got the meeting with the videographer on Friday.
Okay.
So we want to talk through, like, basically like celebrate this journey so far and the people that have made that happen, and kind of talk about the relationships and the dynamics along the way, because it's very easy to look at this band and go, oh, it's a duo. And we kind of can get put in a box, and it's not that. Like, visually, yes, it is. Business wise, yes, it is.
Yeah.
But it's so not fair to the other people involved that come in and out of this project, who are integral cogs to this machine. And we want to celebrate that whole thing. And I guess go that layer deeper that we don't really get to in these kind of scenarios. We always touch on it, but like put visuals to that and tell that story a little bit. That's the plan. So at Lumineer Cinema, there's going to be a I think that will be the debut. Well, I refuse to debut it anywhere but a cinema.
Yeah, say.
I get the opportunity to do that. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, we're going to debut a movie basically about WREX, and
amazing.
That will be cool. And what will come with that afterwards will be I I don't want to say like closing this chapter or like the next chapter. I think it's just a continuation of like
Continuation,
this
evolution.
thing. Yeah, because like we're gonna go out and do more shows, as we said. There's 50 odd more shows booked. So there's a bunch not announced for that portion of the year.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go far and wide, and yeah, just I don't know, show everyone what this is about. I'm very keen to prove that we're not just an internet band with a laptop.
Yes.
And like again, no disrespect to anyone who does that, because it takes its own skills.
Yeah.
We started as that, and we've grown from more than that. And I can understand why some opportunities are harder to get, because I feel like for industry on the other side, like not the public, but for the industry looking at stuff, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of bands that aren't actually real bands that work or do stuff, and they just ultimately do it for fun. And there's no shade on that, but it can be very hard at this lower level to distinguish between them all. And yeah, I'm hoping this kind of shows people inside the machine that is WREX and how it's built over this sort of 3 years of going out on the road, from ultimately two people just saying, let's write a song together.
Yeah.
That's the idea at Lumineer Cinema.
That's awesome. I mean, I look forward to potentially seeing that as well. If you release that or put that out anywhere on there, or even I might make a trip to Romford. Who knows? I might actually, get somewhere. But you got a couple of shows left, like you've got advertised up on site. So in October you're playing in Norwich, and then you're going to Germany, playing 2 nights in Germany, which is amazing. Playing in Berlin and Hanover. The Female Fronted Is Not a Genre. Is that a festival?
Yeah.
Like punk and hardcore festivals.
Yes.
I think the Hanover one is new. Berlin, I think they've done for a few years.
Okay, it does have a number 5 after it, so I'd assume they've done at least 4.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's right. But no, that sounds like a good festival as well. Like so is it specifically, I don't want to say female fronted bands because it says female fronted is not a genre, but
it's
is it specifically that with female members?
It's not just because I'm at the front. Like if I was playing bass or something, that would still be. Just bands with female and like members of the LGBT community.
Nice. So, that sounds awesome.
It's a cool lineup as well.
Yeah. Who else? Sorry, I've not seen the lineup, so I don't know who else is on it.
Oh, you have to have a listen. The headliner in Berlin, I'm very excited for.
Okay, cool. I will look it up. And I will. It's very much my kids are very much into that sort of side of things when it comes to like whenever I've shown them music, they have been asking me, is there anything with ladies in it, women in it, LGBT, what is that? And they're discovering all these groups and bands through. I'll give them one band, they go dig for the rest, kind of thing. So it's a good sort of discovery for them. So I'm gonna turn them onto that as well. But no, you've got a hell of a year lined up for you guys. And yeah, I wish you all the best and all the power. And I hope you get further and further and further along this road of being a musician or a band, if you want, the music industry, and how it changes and warps around. But the fact that like the real thing I can see with you guys is just like that work ethic is there, that path you've taken from when I interviewed you a couple of years ago of being like a Brighton band to now having like national recognition for a lot of it. So you're hitting other like say other territories, things like that, and people are turning up, which is amazing. And it doesn't go unnoticed by other people either. I'm sure you'll get opportunity. Obviously, you're playing Bloodstock, which is huge. Like that's of metal festivals, bar Download, that is it. That is the one that you kind of like. It's one of the two you kind of want to play, but then you want to like go for some of the sort of, not mainstream festivals. That's the bad word because Download is huge, as is Bloodstock, because they all sell out. The other festivals on the market, the ones that take rock acts, for instance. But it'll be good to see what you guys do on that and how how it works out for you guys, because it's obviously it's always a sort of like there's always a veil of something over it. You don't quite know what's going on. I keep hitting this mic.
As well.
Yeah, there's one to announce, and I think we're enjoying this. Like we're living in this crossover of punk and metal, which was never like an intentional thing. Totally makes sense. I was,
I think we never saw ourselves as punk or metal.
Yeah, we just made music.
Yeah.
And it just happens that we slot into all these.
I used to be in a metalcore band, and before that, I was in a punk band.
Yeah.
So it's we just made songs, and we're enjoying this kind of, I think there's this thing where there's maybe a segregation of those two communities, and you kind of, and it's like, no, I'm enjoying uniting them and going like, that there's two parts to it, and we're living in this middle ground of the two, and merging the two, because both communities share most of the same values and are ultimately very similar. And we're enjoying we're getting a bunch of the punk festivals, getting a bunch of the metal festivals.
Nice.
And yeah, I don't know what will come next.
I can see you guys playing Slam Dunk. I can see you guys playing Download. I can see you are playing Bloodstock. You are that kind of band that will fit into those areas that, and you're right. There has been a segregation of those genres, be that through populace, be that through, manufacturing to make it so that's that genre, so we don't have to cross over everything. But you have a sound that will cross over on those, which
hope so. I mean, like you said, both not to be ungrateful of the opportunities we have, but both those festivals are also on our list of like places we want to be.
That bingo card, don't you?
Yeah. We're
I was hoping to see it behind you, but
it's not quite that, but like that's the list. That's the list of all the songs I need to finish.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it's similar. We have a docs and we have a sheet.
I've got one of them for shows.
We each have our own offices effectively, and we do these things, and it's we're pushing, and what's weird, I guess, is like for people in bands, like it's not a linear journey. Like you might push for one thing and then another door opens over here, and it doesn't mean that it's the wrong door. Like it's like, I don't think you don't get to pick who likes your music. And then what's cool about that is like when you meet and when you get to connect with people over this thing that you created, like I was saying earlier, I found that so healing. Like, I'm scared of, especially like 1,000 Ways, like we discussed. Like, I think that's probably the rawest song I've ever written and put out. Yeah. I've written songs that raw. I maybe put like a 20-second clip on Instagram when I was going for a real bad time.
Yeah.
I've never commercially released something that open. So to do so, I don't think I would be able to do that without the journey that this last year or two has taken us on. Because which I'm grateful for. Ultimately, I'm really thankful that we're lucky that this stuff it means something to other people. It's really cool.
No, it's amazing. It's amazing, and it's taken a huge step like that you tell you've kind of grown a little bit, when it comes to like being able to do that. And it does take a lot of because like me, like you said, like you as well, you overthink, and you've gone through various things in your life, and it's sort of like, how do you share that? How can you, are you bold enough to share that? Are you, will you go out and say what you've said in the track, kind of thing?
I think it's also like sharing it without starting, I don't want to fight over these things anymore.
Yeah.
Like it's like, I guess part of not wanting to share it would be if it's about a time or an individual, not attacking them, and just writing a song. And I think that's probably the difference in the growing up a little bit, is like I've come to that point of like being a lot more comfortable in saying what it's about, but not in like a, well, I guess like not in a projecting way.
Yes.
Like it's I imagine that particular song, that particular journey, other people will have been through
yes
it, and it is about ultimately like there's part of what we talked about in it is like this idea of intergenerational trauma and how it kind of passes on. The song's kind of written, that particular song's written in like almost chapters rather than like a verse chorus kind of thing. And the movements of it was very intentional, that I was like, okay, I've said this thing, now I want to talk about like this period of time, then that period of time, and then like close it. And yeah, it's been cool. It's cool to do that. Like, it's cool to, going back to what you're saying about like algorithms and things like that, like it's cool. I think that it's really important to remember that like outside of algorithms and outside of industry, we talked a lot about industry in a way, but outside of industry, like art can just be art.
Yeah.
It can just be this thing you make, and that, whilst it might not feel like it because of the way it is monetized, monetization isn't the only form of value. And I think that's something that we easily forget, because we kind of say, so we that can't be a single, that can't go out because it's not
commercially viable,
algorithmically friendly, or or the radio song, or all of these things, but all of those things are putting the value of the song on money, and taking it away from the value of connection for me. And the one thing this band has actually become about has been connection, like or has always been about, and we never knew, or we did, I don't know. I won't ramble.
no, that makes perfect sense, and anyone wanting to listen to that track, they can hear it, when it comes out on May the 20th. Sorry, putting a plug straight after that. But no, you're right. Like, that's sort of like, and I listened to that track and I can relate to a lot of that stuff in it. Like myself, like I connected with it in that respect, and you're right. The way to kind of like, you want to talk about these things, you want to put like a thing in it, but you don't want to project stuff. You don't want to have that, like, you want to be at a point where the anger's not thrown out with it, and you're still like, being, I don't know, just angry.
It was cool to write a song not from a place of anger. Like,
yeah.
I think I've written from a place of anger for so long, and it's very obvious in my music, and consequently our music collectively, because of the collaborative nature. And it's been cool to get to somewhere else with that. And there's other songs we've written that I guess were part of that journey, that, the song, I was thinking about this before this interview, like the songs that never make the light of day.
Yeah.
The songs that happen on the way to the song.
Yeah.
And like, there's a bunch of songs that kind of probably led to this. And
I
feel like that song lays the groundwork for the next thing, because we'd written some stuff that it sometimes what happens is you write songs, it's like, it's almost like they don't make sense right now.
Yes.
They'll go on the pile and they'll get used in a bit.
Yeah.
And there's some great songs that we've got just on a whiteboard. And like, I'm really looking forward to people hearing this chapter of WREX and this iteration, well, this part of the short story.
Yep.
So it moves into the next, and sharing every step of that journey with us.
Awesome.
It's
awesome. That's wonderful. I love that. I'd be remiss without asking, because there's a certain individual popping their head up behind you occasionally on this.
Oh, Pippin.
Pippin.
You want to come up?
Oh. All right. I love dogs. So and seeing them pop up in the, there we go. Hello.
After years of telling her not to jump up, she's like, is this a trick question?
Trick question, yes. So I used to have my dog in here with me when I used to do these, and she'd occasionally like pop up and well, sometimes be on the podcast, but yeah, no, she tends to stay in the house now. So, but yeah, no, I'll be remiss because I kept sitting in the corner. I'll be remiss not asking.
See the tail flopping around.
Yeah, big pile of fluff. Makes it into every interview, every stream.
Yeah, nice. She's sat in the corner.
She usually just parks in this chair over here.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Well, I got one last question for you guys, because last time you were on, I asked my usual enders, which are 3 pivotal records and hobbies and things, which we answered last time. But I've got one for you, or both of you actually. But what I want to find out, right, is a secret influence. So it will no longer be a secret, but a secret influence of the band. So if there's like, when you kind of like, when people ask the question, what are your influences? And you may have reeled off, a couple of punk bands, a couple of metalcore bands. Like you said, I can't remember. I think you said Of Mice and Men on the last one was one of them. It comes to mind. But I want to find out if there's any like secret influences on there, like someone that, may not be cool to attach to, being in a band such as your own. But is there anyone you can kind of like say, yeah, that artist.
What song you keep singing?
Oh, I keep singing the Bob Mortimer track though. That's just Bob Mortimer.
Oh, the one from Laugh Out Loud.
No,
got a cobbler's head.
That's so good. So good. I love people who've been doing remixes of that and everything and putting it in.
I was gonna do one. Oh, yeah, actually, banger in Soundcheck. My new Soundcheck song. It was always a While She Sleeps song, and then my Soundcheck song has become Chad Kroeger's Hero. Because it's a banger. Like nice. There's nothing more like just naughties than that song for me.
That video was constantly on MTV.
Yeah, and there's these 2 lads on Instagram that I follow. Like they do a little podcast. I can't remember their names. But one of them does it. It's like, yeah, you think that song's mint, and it's Chad Kroeger's voice. It's so cool. And then someone comes in with it just as cool a voice for the second verse. It's like, where it comes in, it's like, yeah, the see the guy is like, someone told me I'm gonna and he's like, wow, yeah, banger. I love that song. So, sort of secret influence, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have a shared one.
Okay, no, it's all right.
I don't know. I guess mine would be like my Clubland phase. So it's not a specific artist.
Okay.
Yeah, you do love
a Clubland Hardcore 5 was like peak era for me.
Yeah. No,
we're kind of complete opposite ends of that. Like you're like Clubland Hardcore, and I'm like Gregory Alan Isaacoff, like acoustic singer-songwriter, like really chill.
All of my music is fast.
Yeah, all of yours is like and mine's all sad and slow and lyrics.
Yeah, I don't care about the lyrics. I just want the energy.
Which totally makes sense in as WREX as a band.
Yeah, because, I was going to say there's that element of both in your sound. They're not direct, but they're there. And that Clubland Hardcore, yes. Yes, anything like DJ culture, especially from when you're down in Brighton and everything. That's like, Clubland kind of, Bar London is the UK's Ibiza.
Aaron Styles, he was brilliant.
Yeah.
He's not quite there for me.
Yeah, it was good though.
Carl Cox was a bit too normy.
A little bit too mainstream.
Not fast enough.
Not enough hardcore. Too much house.
Not enough on it.
Yeah. The BPMs were below 120.
I don't think we have a single song like below 120.
Not that we play live.
I don't think we even have a single song that's low. No, this could be
the piano one might be.
Yeah, maybe. No, yeah, maybe. Live we don't have a song under 125 or 130. Okay. So I think Paranoia is probably our slowest song live. And that's kind of stompy. That's like,
yeah, you've ruined my feet.
Yeah, I keep stomping on your feet and accidentally.
It's just terrible timing. But you don't notice it until the next day, and you're like, take your socks off and have a shower and that, and you're like, oh, what is this?
Lovely. No, that's awesome. Thank you for that. And yes, everyone, Sadworld is out on the 20th of May. They can go pre-save it now. It's at wearerex.com. You can find out all the information about shows, tickets, web store, all that kind of good stuff to support the band. Obviously, follow them on the socials, which is We Are Rex. It's across the board, isn't it? We Are Rex, or at We Are Rex, I should say.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. I like when people have consistent hats because it just makes it a lot easier for everyone to find them. Obviously, if you name a band like Rex or something the way you have, obviously, you know, there's a good chance that you'll have access to all those things. But yeah, no, I've been quite fortunate with my DJ name over the years. I've always registered it straight away. Whenever something new pops up, I'm like at DJ Force X, just so I've got it, even if I don't use it, it's there. But no, that's awesome. Yeah, back to your stuff, Sad World again, 20th of May. Go check them out live. They are playing Bloodstock, so my people who are playing Bloodstock or going to Bloodstock, please check them out. Have they done the stage splits yet? Do you know what you're on? Or...
yeah, we're on Sunday on the EMP stage.
EMP stage. So everyone EMP stage. Sunday, you'll see them. Anyone going to Tenerife? Coming up in May, you can go do that. But like I say, all the gigs, they're playing up and down the country, so they're bound to be playing near you. So go check them out. They're called WREX. Thank you, Mae. Thank you, George. And Pippin.
Thanks for having
us. The star of the show, the dog. It's disappeared now. Diva, it's gone.
Yeah, she made her appearance.
But no, thank you very much, guys, and have a good rest of your day or evening.
Cheers.
Thanks, you too.